Oh, and I'm gonna post this tomorrow, by the way. Not
Yeah,
today. Not
I
tonight.
assumed.
Yeah. I'm Jim Monahan along with Chris Swendeman. 2 minute drill podcast time. Swendeman, it's the fun with numbers edition.
Ooh, I like it.
All right, let me throw this number at you. 36 and 51. Any idea what
Hmm.
that is?
It sounds something along the lines of Jameis Winston's passing abilities.
Not exactly. It's his one loss record in the NFL.
I was going to say his touchdowns versus interceptions.
Yeah, 36 and 51. He spent the last few years as a backup, of course, and now he is QB1 with your New York Football Giants, kids.
As of today, they still may add somebody in the draft on top of it. Russell Wilson's still lurking out there. Would you put it past them to sign Russell Wilson, let them fight it out in camp, and then bring in, either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders? If they could eat, if either one of them falls to three, could you imagine that mess in camp?
What a circus, right? Put a tent over that one. Either way, though, at least it's a move that they made. I don't know how productive Jameis Winston's going to be at this stage of his career. And, you can laugh a little bit at the 36 and 51, but it's better than what they had 24 to 48 hours ago.
Absolutely. And they're not dealing with the uncertainty of the circus that is Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, exactly. More fun with numbers 24 and 11. You're not going to get
Uh,
this one.
No, I'm not going to get this one.
Ryan Stanek, starting pitcher for the Mets against the Yankees today on Monday. He threw 24 pitches in the first inning. He couldn't even get through the first inning because only 11 of them were strikes.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
24
hurts my
pitches,
head.
11 strikes. And when
Oh,
Carlos Mendoza came to the mound to take him out, he started barking at Mendoza like, "What are you doing? You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a bleeping boat," to quote Crash Davis.
clearly was not looking at the scoreboard and seeing his own pitching line because I mean that staff for what their hitters are, it's the exact opposite of pitching. They are just an epic disaster. I mean, when you have Clay Holmes as your number one, I just cringe every time I look at that pitching staff. Like, what Met fan is looking at that going, we got a shot?
Well, the offense, I think, will carry them. I really do. It's
They
a pretty
have to.
it's a pretty potent lineup, and I don't know. I'm just watching Stanek, and he's throwing. I think he sat 97. He hit 98 a few times, but he couldn't get anything soft over for a strike. So
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I don't.
this is just a bad staff, and I think it's going to get worse unless they make a trade or do something because that they're just ugly, ugly, ugly pitching staff.
Well, it's a similar situation with the Yankees, although I think the Mets play in a tougher division, but you basically just have to weather the first couple of months, stay close, and then make a change or two after you figure out what kind of a roster you have and make a run in the second half of the season and just get to the postseason.
Yeah, it's all about just getting there at this point. And I mean, the Mets should have enough firepower to keep them competitive. But man, you just look at those 1 through 5, it makes you cringe just going, oh, you couldn't have addressed that maybe even a little bit, taking some of that Soto money and just throwing something at a pitcher.
Let's throw a few more numbers at you 22 and 99. And 99 does not refer to Aaron Judge, although these two numbers refer to one of his teammates.
Okay.
22 games, 99 plate appearances is what Anthony Volpe had at the AAA level. When the
Right.
Yankees broke camp a couple of years ago and brought Anthony Volpe up to the big club, coming right out of spring training, I thought it was a huge mistake at the time. I still think it's a huge mistake. And I think the Yankees are paying for it for rushing this kid a little too soon. He'll do okay offensively, and we all know he's a really good defensive shortstop. We all know
Right.
that. But he was being touted as the next Derek Jeter, and you gave the kid 99 plate appearances at Triple A. No wonder he was going to be overwhelmed at times, more often than not, I think, during his rookie season and even into last season.
Yeah, you know what the problem is too. I mean, between the hype behind him being a local kid, behind him being a Jeter fan growing up. I mean, it was all snowballing, and they jumped on the hype train quicker than anybody. Yankees management, and they brought him up. They rushed him. And then you put him at the top of the lineup. I mean, does it get more pressure than that? And you can't do that to this kid. He needed more time. I agree with you 100%. He should have had more time in the minors, but that horse is well out of the barn by this point.
Now, the reason I bring up those numbers of 22 and 99, because I'll finally throw you a few more numbers.
Okay.
19 and 85. And those are the AAA numbers that Kristian Campbell has. And for 2 Minute Drill podcast listeners slash viewers who don't know who Kristian Campbell is, number seven prospect in all of Major League Baseball. And it was just announced that he is going to be coming north with the Red Sox. He's had a marvelous run through the Boston minor league system. High A, double A, triple A, and now here he is at the major league level, but he has all of 19 games and 85 plate appearances. And I'm thinking, really? You want to rush this kid? They've got three really, really good young kids in
They
the
do.
farm system.
Yep.
This could be Anthony Volpe 2.0.
It's deja vu all over again.
Thank you,
I
Yogi.
mean, exactly. You're very welcome. When you get to a fork in the road, take it. But seriously, they get behind the hype of these kids. If they just get a little momentum, all of a sudden, let's rush them to the next level. And when you get to this level, I mean, they have what is Campbell, 7 overall?
Yes,
In
he was
the
this number.
top
He was
prospect?
the top
They
7
have, and
MLB
not to get too
prospect.
deep into the weeds, but they have a guy that's even higher than him in Roman Anthony, if I'm correct, that he's rated higher. He's still down in the minors.
Yeah, he's
So
not ready yet. He's just
no,
not ready yet. And they recognize that, thankfully.
but why did they look at Campbell and go, you know what? Let's bring him up. Only after 85 at bats. It's just they're rushing these kids and they're not letting them develop enough to really see what they have when they have maybe a full, dare I say, minor league year under their belt of AAA ball.
Even if they didn't do the full year, I mean, imagine Volpe if he had played April, May, and maybe part of June in his rookie season before they brought him up. Imagine he'd had that kind of experience to just get his feet underneath him before they bring him up. I think it would have made a huge difference.
And then when you bring him up, hide him in the 6, 7, 8 hole. You don't put him right at the top of a loaded Yankee lineup. He's not ready to hit leadoff and make sure he's on base. He's got that high on base percentage. He was not ready for a big, those are big shoes to fill. He was not ready for that.
Well, we'll see what happens with Volpe this year. And of course, this kid, Kristian Campbell, who the Red Sox are very, very high on. The Red Sox have a tendency to overrate their young players, as do the Mets, as do the Yankees, as
Right.
do, well, just about name a team. Just about any team
Exactly.
in Major League Baseball. Hey, have any Yankee pitchers gone down to an injury in the last 24 to 48 hours?
Checks notes. No, not at the moment. But
Phenomenal.
exactly. We had a good couple days behind us. I will tell you this though, Jim. I have an antidote for the Yankees, and this is why they should put me in the front office right
All
behind
right.
Brian Cashman. So I don't know if you saw the news last week, but Joey Gallo got released from the White Sox.
I saw
And
that.
and as a hitter, if you get released from the White Sox, you probably should reconsider your current career path. But that being said, he after his release, he said, "You know what? I'm going to try my hand at pitching."
Oh my gosh.
Boom! Joey Gallo back in the Bronx, baby, as a pitcher. Put him on the mound. How bad could it possibly be? The famous last words.
What are you trying to be, George Costanza here?
Absolutely. Why not? It's the summer of Swendman.
What's the worst that could possibly happen?
The famous last words. Exactly.
Well, the two best words in the English language come in just a couple of days when we hear play ball and the 2025 season kicks off. And that's the 2 minute drill for another week here on the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you next week.
You got it, Jim. Have a good one.
There we go.
Sweet.